also wrote a piece on using the term culture wars, right? Especially in the context of, I think, the film Kashmir Files. Um, so, could you talk about this a little bit in terms of how India is being targeted within the country and also from outside? Maybe you could just talk a little bit about that particular piece you wrote.
I wrote this piece after I read an editorial in a national newspaper that this movie, the Kashmir Files, is part of the culture wars, which basically the BJP government is waging now or is promoting. And this sounded very odd because the Kashmir Files, of course, was very much according to what really happened. No? So I felt this culture was, I mean, I don't know whether you can call Western culture even culture. But what is happening now, I feel, is India is the last surviving ancient culture. All others have been wiped out. In South America, Inca, Maya, Aztec, Mesopotamia, Egypt, everywhere. And they were wiped out by three powers mainly, by Christianity first, they started it. Then Islam came, and China through mainly communists and Russia also. So India is the last surviving culture. Now I feel they want to finish it off. Of course, Christianity has and Islam also. They have in their doctrine that they alone are true. That means nothing else should exist on earth. The one true God wants only their religion to be accepted by everybody. But now I feel also in the present scenario, there is a reset happening in society. Maybe what is it called? Yeah, reset by the World Economic Forum and so. And I was a little kind of startled when I read a comment by Yuval Noah Harari, he's now very famed as the greatest historian and the greatest philosopher. And he is saying that basically,
Harari. Okay.
Harari, that he's saying that humans are now hackable animals. We can know what is in their mind. And also we have too many useless people, basically. And then, believe it or not, he is on YouTube saying, so what do we do with these many people? Maybe we should keep them happy with computer games and drugs. Now compare this to Indian civilization.
Oh,
I mean, this India doesn't fit in because in India, this knowledge about truth is still available, which is not there neither in Christianity and in Islam or anywhere else. That there's an absolute level. This absolute level, it attracted me so much when I came to India. There is
right.
oneness.
So
Brahman.
you're saying that this attack on India is now you have people like George Soros also openly being as named as somebody who's involved in creating this instability within the country. So it's not
Yeah.
just about the economic growth of India, or it's not just. I think they just want. India is the only culture in the only land, I think, uh, which can resist against this kind of what would you call it? Um, take the soul out of the land, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Which is what makes this country so different from the rest of the world.
And
This
actually,
quest, the
this,
spiritual
yeah,
quest for
yeah,
this,
and actually,
for
the soul out of the human being. They
yeah,
don't want to consider the human being as divine. It's just like
true.
so. This I feel is it
Um,
started me that this may be the reason that they are so much after
right.
India because it doesn't make sense. Indians are the most peaceful, the least violent over history. It's proven group of people. and yet they are
Mm.
what recently happened in Geneva. These posters which came up, maybe you saw some, that state-sponsored terrorism in India against Christians. Stop burning Christians. Stop burning
Mm.
churches. I mean, it's incredible. It is absolutely. This cannot be. It is not normal. You can maybe replace it with another name of a country, but not India. India does not do this. So why is it? And I feel this knowledge is meant to be forgotten. And that what this knowledge in India about Atma, and
Right.
that our inner being, our essence is not limited to this body. It's one with everything. And this,
Mm.
I feel this knowledge, it is not only in the head. It does not need to be, we need to know about it, but we really need to try to discover it within ourselves. And for this, I feel sadhana is very necessary. And India, I feel there are so many attempts on to bring India away from this wisdom, from this knowledge, to make them busy in malls and just superficial
Yes.
living and enjoy
Making it
life like in the
more
West.
materialistic, very materialistic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
A very
yeah,
consumerist society. Yeah.
and it won't satisfy ultimately. So, to India knows still what is the goal of life,
Mm.
and what fulfills life, what is how I should live my life according to Dharma,
Dharma.
and that the truth is basically hidden below thoughts.
Mm.
This we should be aware. That's why we should stop sometimes thoughts. Meditation. Nisargadatta was saying that he was a sage who passed away in 1982. You may not know. So he was saying that meditation is the radical refusal to think.
Mm.
The radical refusal to think. It's not easy,
It's not.
but if you manage a little bit, you will realize that it is a very expensive, very nice feeling, or that there is something which is very satisfying.
Mm.
And that's what India says. I mean, the absolute level is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, physics has discovered basically the Sat aspect. It says all is one energy. We are not
Mm.
separate. Physics
Mm.
also says.
Yes.
But India says this Sat, it is, but
Mm.
it is also Chit. It is
Chit.
conscious. It
Conscious.
is alive and it is blissful, Ananda.
Mm.
Sat
Ananda.
Chit Ananda. And everything else, and this is a very important point, because when India is attacked with so many gods and idol worshippers, it's very bad for Christians and for Muslims. We are, because of this, it is Hindus deserve hell and so on. No?
Correct.
But they don't understand that the original oneness is here in India. Brahman is above. And
Yes.
even Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, even the three main gods, if we call them
Shakti.
devas,
Yes.
they are like us in the
Mm.
sense they are manifested in this Maya. They
They
have
have a
also an,
limited manifestation in that sense, right? Even they are only
it,
limited
yeah, yeah.
avatara. Yeah.
They have a much longer lifespan.
Yes.
They have much more powers. But ultimately, even Brahma's life will come to end
Correct. Correct.
after a huge time, trillions of years.
Yes. Yes.
But still,
It will
that's
come to
what
yes.
Christians and Muslims should understand, and they cannot attack Hindus on the grounds that they are worshipping many gods. No, all these
Mm.
gods are aspects of the one
The oneness,
truth
exactly.
of the oneness, which is so powerful, which is so intelligent, so it cannot be described. The Vedas say thoughts and words turn back from it.
Mm.
And but this Brahman is in us.
Isn't us exactly.
And
That's
there
where
it is, yeah.
Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma differs from Abrahamic religions, because we believe that divinity exists in me. It exists in even this table, everything that is around me. There's divinity everywhere. So I need not always look upwards, you know, to think of a separate entity that is God, but there is divinity even in the Dvaita philosophy. There is that ultimately it all supposed to come together, right? So so this concept of oneness is actually, I think, something that I feel, when they talk about we have the saguna and nirguna Brahma, right? We have the Brahman with with physical
Yeah,
traits,
yeah,
and the one
yeah,
without. So we have
yeah.
both concepts, which I think the Abrahamic religions cannot. They're so limited; they're not able to wrap their heads around it. That's what I
Ex-
feel.
exactly. But this is very dangerous for us because they have this doctrine which they claim is given by God, that you must not worship other gods beside me. Now, let's say, look, the Vedas speak about Brahman, the oneness. Christianity took this oneness and distorted it. They made it into a
Yes,
person. Islam
yes,
also has a oneness. There's only one God. But
yes.
they don't understand that India has the original one God. And when
Original
they
oneness, exactly.
yeah, and when they accuse us of idol worship, look, I mean, there's so much variety. Look, even one tree has so many different leaves, and so much variety in this universe. And there are many, many aspects of this Brahman, which
Yes,
there's this example, no? When you have a complaint with someone, you don't go to the um, emperor of the state, you go to a
correct.
to
You
a
go to the
person.
champion, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, if Christians and Muslims would understand this, it would be so helpful, and they
So
could come back
helpful.
also. And it would also, if they also would understand that there in this Maya, we get a chance again and again. It's not one
Again.
life, and then you go to eternal hell and eternal heaven.
And that is
So,
why I feel the Western society is so helpless, so distraught, so, so lost, because for them it's just one life. If you get it right in this life, great. If you don't, then it's eternal hell, right? I mean, how sad is that? Whereas
exactly,
for us, it's like, even if something goes wrong in my life, I know that there is something that has happened before, which is why it is happening now, and I have the chance now to correct it, because in the future it could get better. So
yeah.
there is that ray of hope, there is that tunnel of hope. Whereas if you look at Abrahamic concepts, it's like it's now or never. If you don't get it right, you're done for. It's kind of
Yeah.
sad.
So maybe even 2000 years ago, when Christianity came on the scene, there's one theory even that the Romans invented it more or less. So maybe this was already an attempt to control people.
Hmm.
And you control them with, on one hand, fear. My God, I can go to hell if I
Right.
don't follow what the church says. And on the other hand, they make them arrogant. We are
Hmm.
chosen by God. And I feel this Christianity has lost now a lot of this control. Islam
Yes,
still has it.
it
And I
still has.
wonder whether they want the whole world to accept Islam. I don't understand why they get so much velvet glove
Yes,
treatment all over
yes.
the world. Not on all over
Everywhere,
the world.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And when it is the one which has the worst record. That's what
Yeah,
is so
exactly.
surprising.
Exactly. Luckily, most people are not as. I heard a nice comment by one apostate prophet. He's an ex-Muslim. He's on the internet. He grew
Right,
up in Germany, a Turk, and he became an ex-Muslim. Didn't believe anymore, even though he was very religious at one
right.
point, and his family was very religious. So he went to Turkey and told his parents. The atmosphere in the house was not very good, and they knew already. And then he says a very interesting sentence. He said something like, I paraphrase now. He says, luckily, most Muslims are not as bad as Islam wants them to be. It
Mm,
means his parents didn't kill him. They
mm.
should have killed him because
They
he
should
left
have,
Islam.
exactly. For
I mean,
apostasy. Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
So this sentence, it stuck with me. So
Mm.
luckily, most Muslims, and now in Europe, of course, Christians, most Christians, unless they are paid by the church, don't believe Hindus go to hell.
Correct,
They
correct,
don't,
correct.
yeah, but they try to control people with fear, and I think the topmost people in Islam and in Christianity, and the topmost people now in World Economic Forum, they know that they tell people Hinduism is very bad. Look, they have so many gods. Look, say the caste system. Look what
Caste
they
system.
do. Yeah, yeah,
Caste
exactly.
system.
Look what they do. And then on the other hand, they know that basically Hinduism is too good.
Yes.
Say themselves, and they
I
don't want
think
to
deep
let it,
down they know that. I think
and
deep
they
down.
don't want people to let it know,
Yes.
because if Hindu Dharma spreads, then the control is gone. Then we are autonomous. Then we live
Exactly.
according to Dharma. It would be
Yes.
the best option for all of us,
For everyone.
for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah. That is so true, Mariaji. That is so true. I think deep down they do know, and what they want to do is because I think that even the British realized that very quickly. Like people like William Jones and all these people who came to India, and they took all the knowledge. They took all the Indian knowledge systems with them, whether it was Ayurveda or astronomy or mathematics. They took all of that, Upanishads, Vedanta. They took all of that. They harnessed it, and even now you have so many Western so-called scholars and thinkers repackaging it, and then putting it out as their own philosophies, or giving it different names. Like mindfulness, for example, is a very fancy term, which I mean, it is what we know as being conscious, right? And being aware of that concept already exists in our very being. So I think this is very sad, that the fact that they know, and it's very, I feel very duplicitous of them. They know how superior this culture is. Deep down they're aware. They have harnessed it for all its knowledge systems. They have repackaged it as their own, and they just want to discredit the source and say that no, it's not from Hindu culture or Hindu dharma or Hindu faith. It's just there, and it's there for it's like an open source. It's just that it's just come out of nowhere, and it's like a free for all. I think that's what they're trying to do.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I feel it is very easy to make manuscripts disappear.
Yes,
You don't have to acknowledge them. As
yes.
a sculpture, you cannot so easily make disappear, but
Yes,
manuscripts you can. And the Germans, especially, I wrote an article about this also. The Germans
yes,
were very much after knowledge, and
yes.
I feel even Einstein or these top scientists, they were not fully honest, because
Mm,
how could there be this huge jump suddenly in knowledge, in scientific knowledge?
yes.
And when India had knowledge about iron engine, mercury iron engine,
Mercury, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and which is now used, and this poor Talpate who built it, and he landed up in prison. I mean,
Mm.
they, I think, they, even Einstein. I mean, they
Was not
had a lot.
entirely honest.
He
Mm.
was not so honest. He said, okay, we owe Indians a lot. They have given us zero. They have
Mm.
given
Zero.
us how to count. But it is, they have given us zero is also not so.
Only
Anyway,
zero. Only
yeah,
India's contribution is only zero.
exactly. So, but I feel they don't say what they got. And Germans, they had several delegations to India. Why would they do this? And
Correct,
now,
correct.
and now nobody talks about it. And the
Nobody talks
strange,
about it.
and the strange thing is, even in the 70s, I remember this.
Mm.
India had not such a bad name like
Mm.
now. There was
Mm.
still this Indian wisdom was somehow
Mm.
acknowledged.
Correct,
No? It
correct.
was not. It was not associated with Hinduism. It made sure that Hinduism is a strange religion, but
Yeah.
some people in India, they have some wisdom. No? So
Mm.
this was there, and this stopped about 20 years ago. I remember I got from my magazine in the year 2001 a letter. It had become insolvent and was sold, and the new editor wrote to me, and he said, we want to keep more from you, but
Mm.
as you must have noticed,
Mm.
spirituality is out.
Oh.
This
Oh,
was
wow.
news for me. This is very strange. No? We want you
Yes.
to write about wellness, about.
Uh-huh.
Don't write about Advaita and all this.
Don't write.
So
Okay.
yeah, and so I felt there it started that they
Mm-hmm.
realized if more and more people, this new age movement was there. I mean, they misunderstood a lot of things, but
Mm.
it opened up some things, and it was a great danger for Christianity, of course. So they
Mm.
realized we have to clamp down on this Indian knowledge. We
Mm.
have to even more. Even the church always maligned India, but now we
Yes.
have to go really after India, and we have to discredit it.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I
Discredit.
feel, and I feel this is happening right now.
Yes, yes. Because if you remember the previous pope, I don't know who, I forget the name, John Paul, one of the one who
Hmm.
died. I think
Hmm.
when he came to India in early 2000s during Manmohan Singh's time, he openly declared that this is the millennium for
Yeah,
conversion
yeah.
of the Indian subcontinent. So his the
To
concentration.
plant to plant across in India, no? To
Yes,
plant
yes,
across. Imagine,
yes.
yeah.
So and he came, and then there was this there, what is that, they have a website, it's called something, it's a project, very famous, and it's amazing. I'm forgetting the name, this Christian evangelical project, which is
Joshua project?
Joshua Project.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think this coincided with his visit, the Joshua Project, and they have identified that exact, the latitude. Basically, it's the Indian subcontinent, and this was, I think, in the early 2000s that they decided that this is the era where massive conversions have to happen to Christianity. So I think their plan kind of suffered in 2014. It took a huge, because of the change in the government, and ever since, their efforts have become even more and more
Yeah,
malicious.
they are still going strong,
Still going
unfortunately,
strong.
by
Yes, yes.
luring people because there's no reason for any Indian to convert to Christianity because
Absolutely.
you can worship Jesus, no problem.
Mm.
But if you convert, you have to buy the whole parcel. You have to the whole thing. No? You have to buy also that the Hindus are
Yes, you have to.
cannot be saved. They have to go to. They have to convert if they want also to go to heaven. Also, it's nonsense. You have to believe. So
Yes,
this is so they lure people,
yes.
and this is still going on very strongly, and I don't understand. I met recently some Christian girls in South India. They were studying for journalism, and I mean, I asked, there were also two Hindus, and I asked them, what do you want for India? I mean, they were criticizing the Hindutva government.
Mm. Yeah, exactly.
So they were against this, and the students often do this. So Hinduism is okay, but Hindutva is very bad, and this government is very bad.
Ask them what is the difference. They won't know the difference.
They won't know the difference, no? But then I said, what culture do you want for India? Do you want Hindu culture? No. I was
Mm.
shocked. And then I said, what is Hindutva doing bad? Then they said they discriminate against Muslims. They didn't say Christians. They were Christians.
Muslims, exactly.
They said
This is
Muslims.
what used to fascinate. I mean, I ask a lot of my Christian friends who all obviously openly dislike Modi ji, and they talk critically about him. And I asked them, I said, okay, I can understand. I still don't, I don't think the Muslims are right in hating him too, because it's again another totally different
Yeah,
subject.
yeah.
But at least to some extent, I can understand because of the whole history with Godra. Okay, so I can understand if an average Muslim dislikes Modi. Okay, I can take it to some extent. But why does a Christian have a problem with Modi? I don't understand. What has he done to you? What has he done against Christianity that they have a problem? The problem is not that he has done anything against Christians. The problem is he's a Hindu, and he's a strong, staunch Hindu. That is a problem.
Exactly, exactly. Because being a Hindu, you are not, the true, one true God is not happy because he
Yes,
wants everybody to convert. No?
correct.
So but when I asked them, so how do they go against Muslims? And they said CAA.
Ah,
CAA they brought as an example. Then I tried to explain to them what is CAA and that it does not affect Muslims in the least,
in
and
the least.
how this misinformation is peddled to students, and they are
Exactly.
journalism students. That is really
That's
sad,
very
no?
scary. Mariaji, it's very
Yeah,
scary because
yeah,
these are
yeah,
the people who will be leading the discourse on India. These are the people who will
yeah,
be
yeah,
on
yeah.
televisions, who will be writing articles, who will be shaping people's perspective. So it's very scary. For Hindus, it is now or never. If you don't stand up for yourself
Exactly.
now, it's the whole thing is lost.
And I feel
So
it's now to stand
um,
up and also to go back to sadhana, to take some time
yes,
off and
yes.
try to find this inner space which
Enough.
connects us
Yes.
with the truth, with its really truth. I mean, it's wonderful to, the whole religion is very joyful, arti and bhajan, and so this is very nice. And but also this contact with one's inner being, this only can give you really,
Meaning. Yeah.
yeah, meaning and happiness also.
Happiness. Yeah. So, Mariaji, this conversation has been so delightful, even though we've had some issues, technical issues. I loved talking to you. I wanted to talk about your book, but perhaps we're running out of time. So
Yeah.
we will have you again with us very soon because we love to have you talk some more on certain other issues as well. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at this point today. But thank you so much once again for
Thank you,
joining us,
Pratita.
giving us your time, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure the viewers, got a little understanding or taste of, perspective. Although you're a Hindu now and you've been living in this land, but you bring a certain, like I said, outsider insider perspective, which I think is so important for the average Indian Hindu viewer to have, because sometimes you're so close to the truth you don't see, you miss the woods for the trees, I think, or the other way around. So it's good to have the outside perspective. I'm so happy to have had this talk with you.
Yeah,
Namaste,
thank
Maharaj.
you very much. Thank you. Namaste.
And to all our viewers, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Do keep watching us, share with your friends, like, comment, and please come back. Namaste and thank you.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.